for 24th ranked Michigan against 5th ranked Wisconsin. Time now for the best seat in the house, sponsored by eBay. Fill your cart with color. Let's go downstairs to the All-American girl, Jenny Tapp.
Well, Wisconsin's offensive coordinator, Joe Rudolph, had a little bit of some extra homework for his guys last week. He encouraged all of them to go back and watch the game between these two teams from last year. The result, a 14-7 victory for Michigan. He said the reaction was twofold. First was embarrassment. It is hard to go back and watch a tough loss, but two was confidence, because the entire offense saw how much they have improved. He knew it would be a motivator, and no one is more motivated than Alex Hornibrook. Yesterday, he told us that last year's performance against Michigan, the worst of his career. He said, I still have a bad taste in my mouth. It was hard to go back and watch it, but this year, he hopes to control the outcome a lot better.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Wisconsin won the toss, deferred. Michigan will receive the temperature. Perfect football weather, 36 degrees. It feels like 28. The low today, it's supposed to be 22. Michigan, Wisconsin, here we go from Camp Randall. Line drive, and it will go out of the end zone for a touchback. Michigan will start from the 25. So, when the Wolverines have the football, partner, what's the story?
Well, it really starts with their running game, and they were banged up in the running back rotation a week ago. Karan Higdon and Ty Isaac were both banged up. Chris Evans got the bulk of the carries in the second half, but they are all healthy, and they will all play today. Looks like Chris Evans is the first one in the huddle. On the opposing side, Wisconsin, #1 total defense in the country, #1 rushing defense in the country. They're great on the edges. Garrett Dooley, #5, Leon Jacobs, #32. The outside linebackers, they are the straw that stir the drink for the Wisconsin Badgers.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 25 for Brandon Peters, the redshirt freshman from Avon, Indiana. As he hands it off straight ahead, Evans trying to get outside with a nice stiff arm. He'll gain positive yardage as he goes out of bounds close to the 35-yard line. Joe Ferguson there to usher him out of bounds. Brandon Peters has played in 4 games, mopped up against Purdue, came off the bench to lead the win over Rutgers, and started the last 2 against Minnesota and Maryland.
And they have not asked him to do a whole lot because of the success of the run game in the last 2 games. Expect the offense to be a little bit more opened up for him in this ball game. They're going to need it against this very stingy defense.
10-yard gain on 1st down, so another 1st down for Michigan. At the 35. And Peters to throw it, looking near side, guns it, and it's incomplete, but a flag on the play. That ball intended for McCune.
It looks like he was being held by Derek Tyndall, #25.
Holding. Defense, #25. 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that is Tyndall.
And here's the route on the outside, and they use these big tight ends everywhere on the field, and McKeon gets a good release, and then as he breaks back, clearly Derek Tyndall, too much grabbing down the field, and they get a call. That's one of the things Jim Harbaugh told us on our call that they were frustrated with during the course of the last couple of games, is the amount of holding going on the outside with their wide receivers.
Now, Karan Higdon in at running back. Peters to throw it, looks deep, and he has a receiver, incomplete. Intended for Kakoa Crawford, the sophomore. And that one thrown a little bit too far.
Yeah, and he had a step. Kakoa Crawford looked like he was tracking the ball well, but it just sailed over his head. And Peters, that's the one thing we showed you in that open, is that when he's got a wide receiver open down the field, he has had a tendency to overthrow them in his first couple of starts. And clearly nerves and adrenaline will get the best of you when it comes to the first series.
Chris Evans in at running back now. Peters lines up as a receiver. They go Wildcat. Evans will take the snap, and he runs it straight ahead. Not a lot of room. He gets crunched as he crosses the line of scrimmage. T.J. Edwards and Garrett Dooley in on the play.
Yeah, Dooley does such a good job from that outside linebacker position. And what Wisconsin does on both edges with Jacobs and Dooley is they squeeze. They squeeze very hard on the inside run. So we'll look Michigan try to get on the outside.
3rd down and 9. Higdon back in at running back. Wolverines need to go to the 45 for 1st down. Peters to throw it out of the gun with time, delivers, caught, And is it enough is the question. Sean McCune with the reception, and he gets out of bounds. And a first down for the Wolverines.
Boy, that was a great adjustment by McCune because he caught the ball and he didn't have the first down. And then he was able to turn towards the sidelines and reach out and actually get that ball across the sticks. See McCune, he does a good job creating separation right here. He doesn't have it there with the reach. He's able to put that ball across the line to gain and move the chains for the Wolverines.
So first down for Michigan on their opening series at the 45. Here's a handoff. Higdon stumbles forward. Dakota Dixon, closest man to him. I thought Jim Harbaugh was interesting. He says, we know that Michigan has been off the national radar for over a month now. He expects the Wolverines to reintroduce ourselves to the nation again against Wisconsin.
Well, they're going to have a chance not only this week, but next week as well. There is no team in the country with a tougher schedule down the stretch than Michigan, with this game on the road against Wisconsin and then Ohio State next week.
Second down and 9 at the 44. And they hand it off. McDoom around the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 40. And what's been the difference since that Penn State loss with this Michigan football team?
Well, it's their ability to get back to the run game, own the line of scrimmage, and then they've gotten better quarterback play, and in particular, not turning the football over. The last turnover that Michigan had was John O'Korn's interception against Rutgers that really created the situation where Peters came in the game right after that. So taking care of the football and running it, that's a good recipe.
Another third down for Michigan. 3rd and 6 at the 41. Peters lobs it up the sideline, and incomplete. McCune, the intended receiver. So the Wolverines defended nicely by Nick Nelson, the redshirt junior.
Yeah, Nick Nelson, right now he has 18 passes defended, second best by a Badger ever, and it leads the nation. You can see why. He may have gotten away with a little bit of a grab, but a great job attacking the football up high.
So Brad Robbins comes in to punt it away. He stands at his own 45. Nick Nelson, the deep man, inside the 10. Robbins drives this one over the head and into the end zone for a touchback. So coming up, Alex Hornibrook and the Wisconsin offense on the field right after this. Offensively for the first time, and when Wisconsin has the football, what's the story, partner?
Alex Hornibrook has got to avoid the big mistakes. In 12 interceptions on the season, 3 last week. 2 of those were actually taken back for touchdowns. It's the only points that Wisconsin gave up to Iowa in that ball game, and he's facing a defense that is relentless in their pressure from the front 7. Chase Winovich leading that crew up front as a defensive end. He's tops in the Big Ten, sacking the quarterback.
First down and 10 at the 20-yard line for Wisconsin. And here's Hornibrook rolling out of the pocket. Wants to throw on the move. Crosses the line of scrimmage and goes down at the 24-yard line. Aubrey Solomon chases him down.
The first thing you got to do as a quarterback to avoid big mistakes is you got to make great decisions. Well, he starts out with one there. He's won 16 straight games as a starting quarterback, but you wouldn't know it talking to the fan base here in Wisconsin. He is the one question of this team. That's the longest active winning streak in the country, and yet those interceptions is all anybody is talking about. The decisions have got to become better. When he's holding the ball in the pocket against this defense that is this aggressive, he cannot try to throw it over the middle.
Second down and 6, and they'll give it to Taylor. And the freshman sensation powers forward. I'll tell you what, Jonathan Taylor. Here's a kid, freshman from Salem, New Jersey. Just another day last week against Iowa. 29 carries, 157 yards. This kid is sensational.
He sure is, and it was a real joy getting to talk with him yesterday, and you get the sense of just how intelligent he is. He ran the spread offense in high school, and he has come in here and learned this gap
and
style
you couldn't
running
believe
scheme.
that.
Well, it's because he runs with such patience, and that's not generally, what you would get out of a spread running back from high school.
Third down and 1. And they'll hand it to the inside man. The up back is Austin Ramish, and I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either. I think he was well short, maybe even 1.5 yards, 2 yards short. And the best third down defense in the country gets a nice stop to start this one.
And that's Devin Bush and Khalid Hudson combining on the tackles.
Devin Bush, just a sophomore, and this guy is a talented player. 82 tackles on the year, leads the team, 9 of them for loss, and there was just nowhere to go. That big offensive line could not win the line of scrimmage, no push up front, and Michigan gets a stop.
So Anthony Ladio punted away from the 15. Donovan Peoples-Jones, very talented freshman, standing at the 29. High spiraling kick, Jones backpedaling. He'll field it at the 19, makes the first man miss, tries to get outside, high stepping, gets to the 25 and rolls his way to the 27-yard line, a 52-yard punt and a 9-yard return. And as a holiday gift to college football fans, let's break for more football.
All right, Gus, thank you. Robert Smith, Matt Leinart, the coach, Dave Wan.
When you're in the Midwest, that's this time of year, November, great football weather, 36 degrees at kickoff. Snowed a little bit this morning, rained a little bit this morning. 22 is the low tonight. And here's Peters, he's from Indiana, tough kid, Gatorade Player of the Year. And this is what you like, Joe. This is what I want to see from you down the road, shirt off.
In the booth?
In the elements, yes.
Just rocking it.
First down and 10 at the 27 for Michigan. And they'll hand it off. Higdon running straight ahead. And Higdon still plowing forward, and he'll get close to 9 yards on the play, depending on the spot.
I love this. Check out the fullback. He's going to wrap around, and then he's actually going to come back and block the middle linebacker. That's just an excellent block from Khalid Hill, who gets the block there, and that allows for just the extra push, the extra yardage, and it creates a short yardage situation on second down. This is when you like to take shots with a young quarterback, maybe try to get down the field off of play action.
After the 8-yard gain, second down and 2 at the 35. And they'll run it left this time. And Michigan close to the first down. Dakota Dixon with the tackle, and I like Khalid Hill. He's a fifth-year senior, 6'2", 265 pounds out of Detroit.
Yeah, and I tell you what, this guy, Khalid Hill, he's going to have to deal with some of these edge players. Can you see how fast Wisconsin closes on the edge? And that's going to be a fullback tight end type of matchup when they're pulling around those guards. They're creating havoc all the time. Every time I turn on the film for this Wisconsin defense, those edge players, those safeties, Dakota Dixon on the last play, getting involved.
Third down and 1 for the Wolverines. And they hand it to the up back, Khalid Hill, and he'll get the first down. Picks up 4. So the power running game, very effective for Jim Harbaugh and this Michigan team.
You know, I've had people ask me, why in the world do they give it to a fullback all the time on short yardage? Because this is a staple for Michigan. We're going to see it from Wisconsin as well. Well, when you block down, everybody blocks down on the offensive line, you take away the gaps from the defense. They can't shoot and get into the backfield. So you squeeze everything down, get push, and get the yard.
First down at the 40. Kareem Walker checks in at running back. Play fake. Peters rolling out of the pocket with time to throw it, delivers, and is caught at the 42-yard line. This is Donovan Peoples-Jones, the freshman from Southfield, Michigan, Cass Tech High School, making the catch.
And I thought he had Gentry down the field. Watches the tight end Gentry. He's going to take off on the corner route, number 83. And initially when Peters comes off the fake, right there, he's got him open deep if he just puts it down the field. Didn't like it. It's always better to just check the ball down, be safe with the football. You know it's going to be a defensive battle, so he takes the easy completion. But remember now, getting down the field, that's going to be at a premium today, and Peters is going to have to take some of those shots.
So a 3-yard gain. And a timeout.
Charge timeout. Michigan. They're
Called
first.
by Michigan. They're first. Back after this.
Folks out here say, hey, this is just a nice fall day. I got to tell you, this is one of the great sights in all of college football. This is a bucket list venue, folks, and this is one of the best games of the day, obviously. Got a great showdown here.
Oldest stadium in the Big Ten. 2nd and 7 at the 43. And they hand it off to Evans, and Evans is plowed down as soon as he hits the line of scrimmage. Great defense by T.J. Edwards and Ryan Conley.
Conley has stepped up and played really well for the injured Chris Orr. T.J. Edwards is a real leader for them. He's just a junior, but he and Conley in the middle, they have played so well And remember now, you've had Chris Orr get injured and Jack Sitchie, who tore his ACL in preseason. And so they have been piecemealing this thing on the inside, and these two guys have played outstanding football for the Badgers.
No gain on the last play. 3rd down and 7 at the 43. Higdon remains in the game. Peters not happy with the formation, walks to the sideline, and Michigan calls another timeout. So they've wasted 2 timeouts, and we have 7:03 to go in the first quarter.
Discover card. Hi, I'm just looking at my account, and I've got all this extra cash back. Yep.
Is out for the season with that ACL injury. 3rd down and 7 for the Wolverines. At their own 43. Trips at the top of your screen. Peters looks that way. Oh, he gets wrecked at the 35. Garrett Dooley shot out of a cannon.
Here's Dooley. He's at the outside linebacker position, and he's just going to squeeze down towards the tackle. Total miscue in protection. Too many guys looking for somebody to block. And Garrett Dooley was unblocked and gets to the quarterback. I thought Peters thought he was protected. Didn't want to throw hot, was looking the other direction. That's a missed assignment up front by the offensive line.
So Robbins will kick it away from the 20. Nick Nelson back deep for Wisconsin at the 22. And Nelson gets away from the football. And Michigan will cover it up at the 20-yard line. And now, a quick message from Duracell.
Duracell is the #1 trusted brand.
Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you from Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison, Wisconsin, as this Badger team, they come into this game undefeated, and they're almost like the Rodney Dangerfield of college football.
Yeah.
Even the College Football Playoff Committee, some of the members have criticized Wisconsin for their schedule this year.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. Paul Christ and these players don't have any control over that. And when that game against BYU was scheduled, it was scheduled in 2012. BYU was a 10-win team.
Jonathan Taylor running it right. Taylor crosses the 20, gets to the 22 before being wrapped up. As Tyree Kinnell comes up with the tackle, and a hat is on the field. That's Devin Bush.
And the thing that drives me nuts, covering this sport, loving this sport, and the way that we crown our champion, is the fact that Wisconsin is thrown under the bus for their schedule, and yet all those teams in the ACC and SEC aren't thrown under the bus for only playing 8 conference games, because in this league they play 9 conference games. It's the same as the Big 12 and the Pac-12, but that doesn't get talked about as much as maybe a poor non-conference slate that you really don't have any control over.
2nd down and 7. And here's Hornibrook. He had a receiver that broke open deep, didn't see him, so he throws it short, and it's caught at the 25-yard line by Xander Neville.
Kyle Peniston was wide open, number 49. He's a backup tight end, and he was the one that broke open down the field. And you could see the entire section in front of us. They saw what we saw, partner. That Peniston was open, and they wanted the ball to go that direction. Hornibrook checked it down, creates this 3rd down opportunity. But those are the things that this fan base, they want to see from Hornibrook. The development, getting the ball to open wide receivers, and moving the chains on a consistent basis.
3rd down and 5 at the 25 for the Badgers after the 2-yard gain. Hornibrook, empty backfield.
Charge timeout, Wisconsin. Their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
No score here in Madison.
Yeah, and these are the situations. It's 3rd down when Wisconsin has the ball. Such a unique matchup. It's the #1 3rd down defense in the country against the #1 3rd down offense in the country when it comes to converting in these situations. We've already seen one. Michigan got the better of them. Let's see what Wisconsin can do here, probably throwing the football.
3rd down and 5 to 25. Hornibrook in the shotgun, looking over the middle, and he put that one right on the hands of Troy Fumagalli. who's one of the great tight ends in Big Ten country.
That's right, and he's going to get a little bit of a crossing route here, and I wanted you to see the coverage because they is all over him. That was number 14, Josh Metellus. Probably could have gotten called for a hold, but Hornibrook puts this in the perfect spot. I mean, that is a tight window, NFL-style throw right down the middle of the field for a big first down for the Badgers.
Fumagalli, Mackey Award watch list, preseason first-team All-America. First down and 10. Here's Taylor running it right, and he'll fall forward. Gain a couple on the play.
There's just very little room to run against this defense.
Maurice Hurst.
He has played maybe as well as any Wolverine on this side of the ball. One of the few seniors they have, Mike McCray and Maurice Hurst, only two seniors they've got on this defense. And from his tackle position, he's racked up 50 tackles this year for Don Brown, the defensive coordinator. They attack up front and expect their linemen to make plays.
Second down and 9 to the 38. Shaw in the backfield for Wisconsin. They run the end around with a little bit of running room for Pryor as he gets out of bounds at the 45. Metellus there to push him out of bounds.
Well, Kendrick Pryor gets that little fly sweep, and people don't really think about the fly sweep at Wisconsin, but remember, Paul Chryst spent a lot of time with Mike Riley, both at Oregon State and as well with the Chargers, and that's a Mike Riley staple, that fly sweep. We think about it with Oregon State because of guys like Jaquiz Rogers and the like, but here at Wisconsin, they use it, and they use it very effectively to gain some of those free yards, potentially create these short yardage situations to convert.
8-yard gain, 3rd and 1 to the 46. Hornibrook steps up in the pocket, looks, fires, incomplete. Peniston had his hands on the football, just couldn't haul it in, and Wisconsin will be faced with a 4th down and short.
One of the things you have to do against Michigan if you're a quarterback, in particular on 3rd down, is get yourself reset because they're going to move you off your spot. They're so aggressive. He never got reset. Hornibrook was kind of fading away from that throw, and it was just behind the wide receiver.
Looks like he had the first down, Joel, if he were to run the ball.
Would have been close. Certainly would have been close.
So punting it away is Lottie from the 32. Peoples-Jones at the 11. And it takes a Wisconsin bounce, and will be downed inside the 15. 2:58 to play first quarter. Wolverines back on the field. And let's go to Los Angeles for a game break.
All right, Gus, number 3, Miami. They jumped into that college football playoff top 4 after that beatdown on Notre Dame last week. Virginia, though, striking first here. Kurt Benkert to Olamide Zaccheaus, 33-yard touchdown. Some nice moves there. Cavaliers lead 7-0 first quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
Sometimes when you get a team that's having a lot of success for the first time in a while, complacency enters in, and that can be a huge detractor, and we'll see if Miami can answer.
Here's Higdon running it straight ahead. I think Ohio State would agree with you in terms of their trip to Iowa.
Remember how high they were after that game we called
Penn
in
State.
Columbus, Penn State. Urban Meyer even said after the game it might be one of the best wins of his career. Well, they came out, and you talk about laying an egg against Iowa. Had 55 put up on them in Kinnick Stadium against the Hawkeyes. That's the same Hawkeyes team that came in here last week and only gained 66 total yards against this Wisconsin Badger defense.
Buckeyes rebounded in a big way last week against Michigan State. 2nd and 8 at the 16. Peters, here's a screen and incomplete. Higdon, the intended receiver. A lot of pressure being applied by that Wisconsin front 7.
Yeah, and great recognition up front as well. Alec James, number 57. He was trying to bull rush. He was engaged with the offensive lineman, and then all of a sudden he's got a running back on his left side, and he just fell out of his rush and was right there to defend the screen pass. This is not where you want to be with a young quarterback. Another 3rd and long, obvious passing situation against a team that is very aggressive in the blitz pressure game with a guy like Jim Leonard as their coordinator.
Brandon Peters, 2 of 5, 12 yards so far, 3rd down and 8 at the 16. And Evans with the football in the Wildcat formation.
They had to call another timeout. They have burned all 3 of their timeouts because their offense cannot get lined up. Not the start you want for Michigan.
1, 2.
2:17 to go in the first quarter. Michigan already out of timeouts.
Well, and after that last series, Brandon Peters got popped by Garrett Dooley in the sack on 3rd down. He went off, got his left hand wrapped. And we'll see how effective he can be here. This is an obvious passing situation for Michigan.
3rd down and 8 at the 16. Peters with the toss. Evans tries to get outside, and he is blocked off and goes down for a loss. Great coverage. Andrew Van Ginkel in there to finally clean it up, and the Wolverines will punt it away.
Another one of these outside linebackers, Van Ginkel right here. He's going to just force his way out to his right and stop this play before it ever gets going. And at that point, Chris Evans doesn't have anywhere to go. If he cuts back to the inside, that's the teeth of the defense. That's where everyone is pursuing from. That play never got started.
So this is the 3rd punt of the first quarter for Brad Robbins, who stands at his own goal line. Nick Nelson at midfield for Wisconsin. Badgers with a chance to get great field position. Nelson lets it take a bounce. It dies at midfield. He picks it up. And Nelson gets down the sideline. Nelson still on the move. Watch Nick the Quick Nelson. Touchdown, Wisconsin. 50 yards.
Well, he lets the ball drop right in front of him. I thought that was a mistake. And then he picks it up late. Watch number 26 right here. Here's the key block. Boom. There's the block. It allows Nelson to get out to the right side. Then a missed tackle from Michigan. He cuts back to the left. Nobody there. And it's touchdown Badgers.
Special teams, a factor already in this football game. And Wisconsin adds the extra point. And with 1:15 to go in the first quarter, Badgers take a 7-0 lead. Nelson taking it to the house. That'll make you cry if you're a Wolverine fan.
One, two, three.
Plays like that, special teams, huge in a game like this because you know they're not going to score a lot offensively.
Remember last time these two teams tangled, it was 14-7 last year in Ann Arbor. And you just never know which score is going to be the difference. And clearly, Wisconsin with the upper hand right now, won the field position battle, and then Nelson takes it to the house.
Michigan will get a chance to return it. Ambry Thomas, can he answer with a lane? And Thomas gets to the 30. A 28-yard return. Now let's go to Los Angeles and check in with Greg Wolf again.
All right, Gus, thanks. Back to Miami Gardens. It's early, but number 3, Miami in some trouble. Ben Kurt rolling out, fires and finds Joe Reed, 75 yards. He'll go all the way for the touchdown. Ben Kurt, 10 for 10, 178 yards and 2 scores already. Miami in desperate need of that turnover chain. Cavaliers lead 14-0 first quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
All right. Wow. Miami, 3rd-ranked team in the nation. Oklahoma 4, Badgers are 5. Alabama 1, Clemson 2. 1st and 10 at the 30 for Peters. And he hands it off. Higdon pushing forward. So we knew coming into this game that the line of scrimmage was going to be very important for both teams. Both teams want to run the football. Both teams have stout defenses. But what you said yesterday was interesting, that by the end of this game, one of these 2 quarterbacks will have to step up and make some plays.
Yeah, they will. And you know what? That also goes for the special teams, though, as well. Where are the plays going to be made outside of just running the football between the tackles? Well, Wisconsin has made one of them now. It's time for Michigan to try to find their answer.
Grant Perry in motion, 2nd and 6 at the 34. Peters to throw it. Peters over the middle, and it's caught. Close to a first down for Perry, the junior from Brother Rice. And that should take us to the end of the quarter and a player down. That's Ty Isaac. And Michigan can't afford to have any more running backs go down. They've been nicked up over the last few weeks.
Well, and Ty Isaac was one of those backs that was nicked up over the last couple of weeks. And Higdon left the game last week. Evans was really their only healthy option at the end of the game. We've seen Higdon. He seems like he's 100% kind of full go in this ball game. But Isaac down early, he was trying to block on the outside and pass protection.
Ty Isaac. He left the Rutgers game with an apparent leg injury, missed the last two. Practiced all week, though, this week.
He was in the backfield, and there's Isaac, number 32, as he tried to go and planted. Looks like maybe, they're looking at that lower leg. He's got a knee brace on that right side, and you never know, just planting at some point can jar one of those injuries that's been nagging him for the last couple of weeks, and we'll hope he's okay. But when it's non-contact like that, it's never a good sign.
Isaac played his freshman season at USC in 2013. So he walks off the field. Michigan faced with a 3rd and 1 at the 39. Higdon not part of the huddle.
Yeah, and that's they rotate. They don't have a true starter. They rotate. Higdon's the leading rusher, but he is being asked about his ankle. He left with what looked like was an ankle injury, and it looks like Michigan will just let this clock run out. It'll be the end of the first quarter.
Total yards in the first quarter for both teams, 76. Wisconsin with a touchdown on special teams, 7-0. Wisconsin, Joel Klatt with you. You said you wanted to look forward.
Yeah.
What are we looking forward to?
Well, for Michigan, they've got to get the ball on the outside. They have tried now that interior of the defense for Wisconsin. It is not working. They need to get outside of those linebackers and try to get something loose on the outside. Maybe that's the quarterback booting on the outside. If they get this first down, look for them to try to soften up those edges to try to move the football.
3rd down and 1. Power formation for the Wolverines. And they'll hand it off to Hill, and he just leans forward and picks up a first down. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft for an injury update.
Well, as for Michigan, the running backs were a question mark going into this game. You guys saw Ty Isaac injured in that first play back. He has gone to the locker room. And also, Michigan's leading rusher, Karan Higdon, he was just being examined by the medical staff for some time now, looking at his leg as well. So keep in mind that those two players, not sure about their return at this moment.
All right, so in the game, Chris Evans for Michigan, 1st and 10 at the 42. Peters, straight drop back, under pressure, steps up, decides to run it, tries to get outside, and he'll gain a yard as he's chopped down by T.J. Edwards. And we had a chance to spend time with T.J. Edwards yesterday, partner. What an impressive young man.
I just love his mentality. He understands that this is a defensive-led team. He understands it's a veteran team. And they can't wait to be in this situation because they felt like they let a couple opportunities go last year in these big matchups, Michigan and Ohio State in back-to-back weeks. They want to avenge those losses. They want to get back to Indianapolis and potentially win that Big Ten title that slipped through their fingers a year ago.
2nd down and 9. Evans. And Evans again tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Ryan Connolly, the redshirt junior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
What's so interesting is you see the linebackers and just how quickly they flow over the top. So the outside linebackers, they squeeze down. But if you don't get a block on those inside linebackers, they pop outside and create a very tough environment for the running back to find green grass and try to pick up first downs.
3rd down and 7 at the 45. Wolverines 3 for 6 on 3rd down conversion. Peters steps up. Peters gets outside, fires. He's got a receiver. Up and incomplete. Zach Gentry was the intended receiver. But while that ball was in the air, I tell you, Natrell Jamerson covered a lot of ground.
He did, and I've got to say, he was wide open. See, the post route's going to go from right here. Now, it takes a while, and Peters is able to get outside of the pocket. But at this point, bang, he's got him. He's got him if he throws the ball way down into this area, but he shorts it as he's on the run. And the defensive back, Natrell Jamerson, is able to drop back under that route and break it up.
Well, Nick Nelson back deep at the 15 the last time he touched the ball. He ran it back 50 yards for a Wisconsin touchdown. This one angled toward the near side. Good hang time. And it takes a Michigan bounce and is down. Let's see, inside the 5. And that's where Jonathan Taylor and the Wisconsin offense will start when we return to Madison. Welcome back to Madison. Badgers with the lead and the football. 7-0. Wisconsin 10-0, ranked 5th in the nation. First down at their own 3. Shaw in the backfield. And they'll give it to him straight ahead. And he'll get to the 5. Tell you what, if you're an offensive lineman in America and you want to go to the NFL, you better come to Wisconsin.
There's been a lot of them, haven't there? It is a great pipeline. Always good physical offensive lines, and that plays well at the next level. There's no question about it. Maybe the most famous being Joe Thomas.
Highest paid, maybe the second highest paid offensive lineman right now in the NFL. Thomas, 2nd down and 9 at the 4. And Hornibrook rolls out of the pocket, throws, caught. And Fumagalli gets out of bounds close to the first down. Let's take a look at what happens when you play at Wisconsin and you go to the NFL. You get big money.
I mean, I'll take it. There's no doubt about it. Joe Thomas, Frederick,
$80 million.
Wagner, Ramczyk, who's a rookie with a nice career ahead of him. And he had a great career here after transferring into Wisconsin, and was a big part of what they did a year ago, getting into that Big Ten championship game. This offensive line, they have got to start opening up some holes right now, because the run game has been stymied by Michigan so far.
3rd down and 3 at the 10. Out of the I formation. Here's Shaw. And he won't get it. Right now, that Michigan front 4. One thing I see when I watch these guys from U of M play, they all swarm to the football as if they're playing with the same brain, Joel.
Well, that's part of the genius of this defense, is Devin Bush got the 3rd down stop there, and they'll force the punt. They tell all those players up front. See, sometimes they ask defensive linemen eat up blocks, but not for this defense under Don Brown. They want all of them to make plays. And so when you work in conjunction with each other, you fill up those gaps, you get off blocks, you can make plays like they just did on a 3rd down.
Wolverines with a chance to get good field position as Lottie punts out of his own end zone. Donovan Peoples-Jones over to the far side, and that ball bounces backwards to the 40. No flags on the play. And Badger fans not happy with the no call.
Running into the kicker. Punter had room to land and then went down.
Well, they were saying that Lottie had room to land and then he went down. We'll see if that's the case. Boy, I don't know. Based on that angle, it sure looked like his plant leg didn't have room. Well, it looks like he actually kind of kicked it out from that angle. See, they're saying if he just comes straight down, that's fine. But see how he kicks that left leg out into the Michigan player? That's actually a pretty good call on the field by the officials, because real time it would have been so easy to throw a flag down. They got together, they chatted about it, and I thought that was actually a pretty good no call based on what Lottie did with that left foot.
So Michigan takes over at the Badger 40-yard line. Kareem Wagner, the running back, they give it to him, and they'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's because T.J. Edwards was right there.
And look how skinny he gets. I mean, Edwards on this play, he kind of comes over and he's going to kind of get skinny and go through this gap and actually get the ball carrier down to the ground. Watch to see how he just kind of dips that shoulder and then he gets into the backfield. What a great play by T.J. Edwards.
So a 1-yard loss, 2nd down and 11 at the 41. The question is, can Michigan get their passing game going? Higd in the deep end. Here's Peters to throw it with time. Delivers, got a receiver, and it's caught. Gentry down at the 5. Natrell Jamerson with the saving tackle.
Well, they do a great job here. Gentry's going to go out, and then he's actually going to head up the field. And when he heads to the outside, that's where the defense falls off. Then he's wide open. Peters gives him a nice ball. Peters was hit into the backfield. They were attending to him for a little bit. Look how he got drilled, and he laid there for a second, so the official actually stopped the game. He's going to have to leave the field for at least a play. John O'Korn will come on, but a huge play for Michigan as Peters is being looked at just under that chin strap after getting just pummeled in the back of the pocket.
He jogs off the field on his own after the 35-yard completion. So John O'Korn, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, Maryland, Houston transfer, started 4 games after Wilton Spate's injury. But the offense wasn't very effective, scoring 10 points. 20 and 13 in his first 3 starts. First down and goal at the 6. The handoff to Higdon. And Higdon bottled up and taken down as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Andrew Van Ginkel with the tackle.
Looks like.
And Peters will come right back in.
I was just going to say, he's talking with Harbaugh. He's getting the play, and now he'll trot onto the field. And from the middle of the field versus the right hash, now you have the opportunity with a right-handed quarterback to potentially roll him out of the pocket and try to slip a tight end or a fullback into the right side flat towards the front pylon.
They send 2 tight ends to the right side. Second down and goal at the 5. Peters throws the fade to Peoples-Jones. Incomplete.
Boy, this is a great ball, and the freshman has good body control. He goes up and gets it. Just a matter of obviously where those feet come down. Good push. Yep, absolutely. Great call right there. Just a matter of if that left toe actually hit before the right foot. Boy, simultaneous. That's going to be very tough. That's a tough call by the officials. I think it's the correct call with that right toe clearly on the sideline.
Third down goal at the 5. Now the officials will take another look, a closer look
ruling
at
on the previous play was the receiver was out of bounds when he caught the pass. That play is under further review.
I mean, they're going to have to slow this down and just see about the timing of that left toe before the right foot hits on that sideline.
It looks like he was just out of bounds.
Yeah, I did. It's so simultaneous. I don't think there's going to be anything they can overturn that.
Dean Blandino, our rules analyst, is in the studio in Los Angeles. Dino, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right foot versus that left foot. And does that left foot come down clearly before the right foot? Because they ruled out of bounds. And if they're simultaneous, there's going to be no way they can change this.
Well, that's just too tough. I mean, it's just not definitive, at least for me, Dean. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but
I would agree, Joel. I agree. It's not definitive. It has to be clear. Maybe that left toe might touch, but it looks to me like it's almost simultaneous. This is going to be difficult to overturn.
That's the best look that we're seeing right now.
That's not simultaneous.
You could make an argument.
That's not simultaneous. That left foot gets down
from
first.
That angle, from that angle, it looks like they're almost at the same time. It's close.
Well, Nick Nelson did a nice job in coverage of pushing Peoples-Jones. Tried to use that sideline as an extra defender. Peoples-Jones did a nice job of going up and getting that pass, and we'll see what they came up with.
After review, the call in the field stands. The first feet came down simultaneously. Incomplete pass. Third down.
I thought that was a correct call. You could make an argument that maybe that left foot came down too soon, but that's not replay's job to get into the maybes. They need the definitive look, and now it's third down.
Jim Harbaugh with a smile. Third down goal at the 5. Karan Higdon, the single setback behind Brandon Peters. Peters, short drop, looks backside. rolls, turns, and lost it. He fumbled the ball. And Wisconsin has it. The first turnover of Brandon Peters' career. And Michigan will come up empty. Peters trying to get the extra yard, lost it, and Wisconsin jumps on it. Turns it over, our first turnover of the game.
And it was just a huge sequence because it looks like they potentially get a touchdown on this play. Peoples-Jones just out of bounds, goes to review, it stands, and then remember that left hand has gotten wrapped and then he put a glove on the left hand, and as he tried to shift the ball to his left hand, it comes out, the fumble, Wisconsin ball, and they avoid giving up some points there. That was almost assuredly at least a field goal attempt, probably 3 points on the board, and Michigan comes away with nothing.
Derek Tindall with the recovery, first down at the 1. Hornibrook over the middle, has a receiver for Magali with a first down, and that'll give him breathing room as he gets all the way up to the 22. And they're not booing, they're booming.
This is a kid that had a broken nose last week in the game. He got popped against Iowa, played right through it. They love that up here. Great tight end. It's been very good for a long time. Came into this game with 33 catches on the year, 3 touchdowns. Mackey Award watch list in the preseason.
3 catches, 38 yards for Fumagalli. First down and 10 of the 21 for Wisconsin. And they hand it off. Taylor breaks it back. Taylor on the move. Taylor again about 12. First down. Jonathan Taylor looking to become the first Power 5 freshman to rush for 150 or more yards 6 times in a season.
What I love about him is his patience, and again, this is something that has got to be learned. It just shows you his intelligence, because you can tell someone to run with patience all you want, but to actually go out there and put it into practice, it's so impressive. This guy's high school coach used to always say, all you have to do is listen. Well, he came to Wisconsin as a true freshman. He listened well, to the tune of one of the best freshman seasons we've ever seen.
First down, and they hand it to Taylor again. Taylor, look at him, burst of speed, still on the move. Wisconsin's offensive line fired. Metellus with the tackle, but that's a gain of 21.
What you're going to get here is it's going to start off to this front side, but watch the vision from Taylor. As Taylor gets it on the front side, and then right there, he's going to see the lane on the right side, and there he goes. He does a great job of getting that green grass, getting the first down, and then running physically at the back end. Taylor is just a sensational back, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't come in with 5 stars. They didn't even know if he was going to be the starter, but he earned the job. And he has been sensational ever since.
First down at the 47. They pitch it to Taylor this time, and he's bottled up and driven down hard. Well defended Aubrey Solomon, as well as Maurice Hurst, combining on the tackle.
Yeah, those guys just won right away. I mean, check out Solomon. He's right here. He's just going to throw his man down, and he's going to get into the backfield. You talk about another great true freshman, Aubrey Solomon from Leesburg, Georgia. He has been tremendous this year. He gets back there and gets it done.
I tell you, Maurice Hurst, 6'2", 280. He's got quick feet. Looks like he could play point guard for Coach Beeline and the Wolverines. 2nd and 14 after the 4-yard loss at the 49. Hornibrook in the shotgun. Rashid Ibrahim in the backfield with him. He guns it near side, and is it incomplete? Ball intended for Kendrick Pryor. Well defended by Watson.
These corners, so good. Brandon Watson, the senior, he got in there and looked like he had a shot at picking that one off, but clearly onto the ground. Great defense and recognition. Them trying to throw that quick little screen out to the outside, and comes up, forces the incompletion, and a long 3rd down opportunity. This is when Don Brown loves to light it up with a little pressure and a blitz look, in particular from the outside.
Watson starting for Lavert Hill, who's out with a concussion. Hornibrook all day to throw it. Over the middle, and caught. Nice throw. Danny Davis went up high and took it down, and that's a gain of 19.
This is just the drive of the true freshman, Danny Davis, another one of these true freshmen, number 6. And this is a great throw again, over the middle, and it's on time and in rhythm. Perfect spot, pretty good coverage by Kennel, the junior safety for Michigan, but Danny Davis has just a little bit of separation as that ball did touch the ground there as they went down. It's just a matter of if he had control or not on a huge third down opportunity there for Wisconsin.
The play is under further review.
Remember, the ball can touch the ground. That does not cause an incompletion as long as you have secure control of that football. And then the ground doesn't jostle it, losing control on that play over the middle. Well, tough to tell there. That right hand looked like it was pretty secure, but as he's rolling over, if there's any shifting of that ball in that right hand, this will be a better look.
Looks like he has control of the ball to meet, partner.
Yeah, see that? Well, that hand kind of is starting to come off the ball. Boy, there's some tight replays so far in this ball game. I think you can make an argument either way.
Ruling on the field is a catch.
Yeah, which is likely where they will keep it. Danny Davis, highly recruited, 4-star recruit, a running back and wide receiver. Was also a really good basketball player in high school. He set a school scoring record with 1,700 points on the hardwood.
Last week, had a career-high 4 catches for 74 yards against Iowa.
And they've needed him to step up and play well because this team lost 2 of their better wide receivers earlier this year, Quentin Cephas and Jazz Peavy. And so they've got some young guys on the outside, one of them being Danny Davis, that they need to step up and have a big day. And this would be a big catch here. Remember, it was a 3rd down. Call on the field is a completion for a 1st down, moving the chains on a really good drive for Wisconsin that's started at the 1-yard line. Remember, when it takes this long and they start writing things down,
it's a reversal.
Yeah, this is when you start to think to yourself, I think they're going to reverse it. Remember, that last angle, you could see those fingers come loose of the football, and he's got the side judge there with him. Head referee is Mike Cannon, side judge Joel Clay. And as Clay is standing there, he is writing down information. That tells me that this one's going to come back, and they're going to spot the ball, create the 4th down, and 14 from the 49 is where this situation would be on a reversal. Remember, it's not just where the ball is spotted. They've got to spot the chains as well. So that's all the information that they've got going on.
After review, it was an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and 14 yards on the 49-yard line. Please reset the clock to 6:06.
Well, this is that look. Remember, if he secures it through going to the ground, it's fine. But at this point, you're going to start to see the fingers come loose of the ball that were right there on the laces. And that was the definitive look that they used to overturn the call. Like I said, I think that could have gone either way.
I don't know, partner. Sometimes I think we're getting a little too meticulous. Looked like a catch to me. So 4th down and 14 at the 49. Donovan Peoples-Jones back at his own 12-yard line as Lottie will send it away from the 35. His 4th punt of the 1st half. Got this one high in the air. And Peoples-Jones fields it on the run and is taken down at the 16-yard line. Wisconsin doing a nice job on special teams. That time it was Derek Tyndall.
Hours before every home game, friends and family of players and coaches, they patiently wait at the Camp Randall Memorial Arch to offer a few last words of encouragement. And what does Coach Chris like most about it? He said, it's our way of telling the families that we're all in this together.
All right, first down and 10 to the 16. Michigan runs it. Evans trying to break through, and he'll be tackled for a loss. TJ Edwards, first man to him. Connolly there to clean it up.
I just love how TJ Edwards gets small. Here he is, and he's going to come over to his right. He's being blocked, but watch as he gets low right there, and he dips that right shoulder. He's done that twice now, and he has gotten out of the way of the offensive lineman and into the backfield to trip up Chris Evans. That's why he's one of the best linebackers in the Big Ten.
No gain on the last play. Second down and 10 at the 16. Peters, straight drop. Looks deep, has Peoples-Jones! And it's caught at the 35. Donovan Peoples-Jones ran a great route, and Peters put it on him.
Peoples-Jones is one of the most talented freshmen in college football, and this is the same route that we saw last week from Maryland. Peters overthrew it. He doesn't overthrow it here, right on the face mask of Peoples-Jones. Good coverage down the field, but he's able to secure it going to the ground. That's a big play for the Wolverines.
A 48-yard gain for Michigan. First and 10 at the 36. Play fake. Peters runs it and goes down at the line of scrimmage. TJ Edwards there to cover him up. But Donovan Peoples-Jones with the big play for 48 yards. So many great receivers have played at Michigan. Guys like Anthony Carter, Desmond Howard, Mario Manningham. They say this kid has a chance to be special.
Yeah, 6'2", 199. You know, he puts on 5-10 more pounds. We already saw the body control in the end zone. Now he gets down the field. He's going to be a good one here for the next few years.
Second and 10 to the 36. 4:18 to go. Evans outside, crawls forward and gains a yard. Once again, TJ Edwards.
We can't get him blocked. Edwards is all over the field right now. He is so good, and he allows them to scrape over the top for Jim Leonard, that defensive coordinator, in his first year as a defensive coordinator, second year as a coach overall. Remember, spent 10 years in the National Football League, and he's done one heck of a job here with the #1 total defense in the country.
Third down and 8 at the 34-yard line for the Wolverines. Peters in the shotgun. Dancing. Throws across the middle, and he has Evans for a first down and more as he gets out of bounds close to the 15. TJ Edwards pushes him out of bounds, but that offensive line for Michigan giving Brandon Peters all day to throw the football.
All day, and this is a rush that's one of the best in the Big Ten. Check him out of the backfield. Here's Evans. He's going to kind of squat for a moment, and then he's going to take off to the left side of the offense right there. Now he gets going. He finds the green grass, and credit to Peters that he was moving to his right but still found Evans, who was moving to his left, and hit him in the chest with a good ball and a good series here for Michigan after that long completion.
Once again, the Wolverines in the red zone after the 19-yard gain. First and 10. Peters will let it fly underneath, caught by McCune, and he will be down at about the 1-yard line. A 14-yard gain for Sean McCune.
Boy, this is an easy completion. Check out McCune as he's barreling towards the end zone. That ball was just kind of down near his waist, so it's going to be at the half-yard line, but the linebackers just split. And Peters, it's like the parting of the Red Sea right there. And McCune was wide open, and he hit him in the chest.
2 catches, 23 yards. First and goal at the 1. Mason and Hill line up in the backfield. And they give it to the up-back Ben Mason. Touchdown, Wolverines. So Michigan, with 2:24 to go in the first half, with an opportunity to level this game at 7.
What a huge series there. It all started with that reversal of the third down catch. Now you've got Ben Mason line up as fullback. He stopped initially, then he gets the push from his teammate Khalid Hill, and he's into the end zone. The true freshman from Newtown, Connecticut, the Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year.
Quinn Nordine comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. 7 up. Michigan, Wisconsin. Back to Camp Randall right after this. confident.
Yeah, and they needed him to, because that run game wasn't really doing much. And remember, they came back to the same concept that they ran a week ago at Maryland. And Jim Harbaugh, I'm sure, coached all week with his young quarterback. You can't overthrow that open receiver down the field, and he came back to it, and he didn't. And you're seeing the maturation of a young player, not making the same mistake twice.
Tyndall camps under it and starts from the 2. Oh, and he gets drilled at the 13-yard line. There are a lot of hard hitting going on special teams. That time it was Jordan Glasgow. And let's go to Los Angeles and check in with Greg Wolf.
All right, Gus, thanks. Over on FS1, number 12 TCU controls its own destiny to reach the Big 12 championship in a rematch with Oklahoma. Facing Texas Tech, Cavante Turpin the scorer. Horned Frogs lead 7-3. Gus, you were all over it last week on that call with Kenny Hill. He got hit hard and didn't make the trip. He has a concussion. Back to you guys.
That's a big one there, and Darius Anderson was banged up, and we'll see if TCU can pull out a win and get to Dallas.
On first down, Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor stopped by Rashawn Gary, the sophomore from Paramus Catholic in Plainfield, New Jersey.
You know, in the last series, Wisconsin started having some success right in the middle of that defense, running the football with Taylor, and Taylor was in particular patient on that series, waiting for those blocks to take place, cutting off of them, and they did a nice job running the football.
Taylor, 7 carries, 42 yards, 2nd and 6. They give it to him again, and this time he'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. And it looks like it was Chase Winovich as well as Tyree Kennel.
And the safety, Josh Metellus. Watch how he comes up from his safety position. Very aggressive, and he's the first one to make contact. There's nowhere to go, and you can't account for that. And Don Brown does a great job of allowing players to be aggressive near the line of scrimmage. He's a pressure-oriented defensive coordinator, and those safeties certainly play close to the line of scrimmage more times than not.
3rd down and 6 at the 19. No gain on the last play. Taylor looking for the first down on 3rd and 6, and he won't get it. Conservative play calling by Wisconsin as Maurice Hurst as well as Devin Bush combine on the tackle, and the Badgers will punt it away.
And Hornibrook has been throwing the ball really well over the middle. We saw the 3rd down. It was catch, no catch reviewed on the last one. I mean, he has thrown some really nice passes in tight windows, and under a minute, Paul Chris says, I've seen enough. I'm going to put my defense on the field, 7-7, and going at halftime.
Michigan with no timeouts. 5th punt of the first half for Lottie, who will be punting it from his own 8-yard line. Peoples-Jones, the deep man, at the 36. Peoples-Jones will get a shot. Reverses. Bottled up. And finally goes backwards and down at the 30 with 6 seconds remaining in the half. Latrell Jamerson with the tackle on special teams.
Well, what a huge drive it was for Michigan to answer the score from Wisconsin. Remember, the score for Wisconsin was a punt return. And so now they surely will come out and take a knee and go in at half at 7-7. But their young quarterback for the Wolverines got a lot of confidence on that last series, throwing the football. You know, it was capped off by the true freshman fullback right there, number 42, Ben Mason.
Remember, Iowa only had 66 total yards last week against the Badgers as Peters takes the knee. Michigan 170 yards total. Wisconsin 99 yards. And we're at halftime. Our score 7-7. Right now we'll send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.
All right, Gus Clatter, thank you. We welcome you to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime.
Welcome back to Madison. 7-7. Michigan, Wisconsin tied as we head to the second half. Gus Johnson along with my partner, Joe Clatton, partner, coming into this game. This is how we thought this game would play out. Tough, physical, cold weather, and low-scoring affair.
I love it. You know, I absolutely love it. This is going to be a back-and-forth game, and it comes down to who can make plays, in particular in the passing game, and Brandon Peters certainly did that. Let's take a look at our first half highlights brought to you by Duracell. This guy is learning on the fly. Young guys are going to make mistakes. Early in the game, he overthrows a wide receiver down the field, Crawford. Then he comes out, finds a tight end down the field on a scramble, but underthrows it. Does he correct the errors? Yes, he does. He comes back in on the biggest drive of the game so far. He goes 3 for 3 for 81 yards. It starts with the ball down the field to Peoples-Jones. That's perfect. And then on a scramble, finds Evans out of the backfield, hits him. I thought Brandon Peters matured right before our eyes in that first half. They asked him to do a little bit more on that drive, and he delivered. In the second half, I'm sure you're going to see more of the same as those passing yards jumped up to 133 after the 81 on that one series.
So Wisconsin will get the football to start the second half. James Fogg will kick it away for the Wolverines. Tyndall starts from the 4 and crashes his way forward and gets close to the 20 before being stopped. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, Joel just mentioned it, that maturity he saw from Brandon Peters in the first half, and Coach Harbaugh telling me at the break he is so happy with the way he has found a rhythm, found a groove. He'd like to see more of that from him. He said defensively, we cannot let up. Obviously, special teams is going to be crucial. And from Coach Chris, the message was simple. We need some third down conversions. Guys, just 1 for 6 in the first half for Wisconsin. They're going to need to be a lot better to get some stuff going here.
All right, so the Badgers start from their own 20-yard line. Jonathan Taylor, the running back. They give it to him straight ahead, and Taylor will gain about 4, maybe 4.5. Mike McCray with the tackle for the Wolverines.
Well, the way to improve on third down is that you first improve on first down. You've got to get into a more manageable situation on third down. There's been way too many obvious situations, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, and that's playing into the hands of this Michigan defense, who's the #1 pass defense in the country. They get to the quarterback, they're aggressive. So again, normal down success is how Wisconsin is going to stay on the field.
They give Taylor 3, 2nd and 7 at the 23. And here's Pryor going around the corner, but Michigan ready for the play. And jumping on his back for the Wolverines is Josh Ross. Gary there as well.
Yeah, watch Rashawn Gary. He's right over here, and he's actually going to take off to his right. He comes up the field, diagnoses what's going to go on in the backfield, and then he's able to get himself out to the right, and then you see the speed and the athleticism from the big man, number 3, the sophomore from Plainfield, New Jersey.
A 1-yard loss, 3rd down and 8 at the 22. Ibrahim in the backfield. Hornibrook to throw it. Hornibrook under pressure. Breaks the tackle and will be sacked. Michigan blitzing. Mike McCray finally bringing Hornibrook to the ground, and the Badgers will punt it again.
There was some pretty good coverage back there because Hornibrook could not throw this ball in rhythm. See the tight coverage, man-to-man defense, no windows to throw the ball, and then the rush finally gets to him. He's got to adjust in the pocket, and Mo Hurst again, the senior from Westwood, Massachusetts, in the backfield causing havoc.
6th punt of the game for Anthony Lottie as he stands at the 7. Peoples-Jones back at the 36. Heads toward the sideline, lets it bounce in front of him and bounces out of bounds. So Michigan will have the ball for the first time on offense when we come back here in Madison, Wisconsin. By Go RVing. Find your way, Go RVing. And by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans. Mortgage confidently. Wolverines getting more and more confident as this game goes on. Their defense hands them the football back. Brandon Peters, 7 of 12, 133 yards. Michigan at their own 38 to start the second half. Peters a throw on first down. Sideline toss, has a receiver, and it's Hill. And the big fullback found a wide open spot on the sideline.
Hilly is in the I formation. Check it out. He's going to act like he's going to block, and then he's going to slip right through the right side of the offensive line, stops right there, and then there's no one to cover him. Peters does a nice job. He's patient, hits him in stride for another big play.
A 22-yard gain for Hill. First down at the 40. Walker in at running back now. They'll give it to him straight ahead, and he is gobbled up quickly. Dakota Dixon.
Well, Dixon didn't play last week. He was in the concussion protocol. There was a lot of questions whether he would be in this game at all today, but he has played really well, in particular up near the line of scrimmage. He's a junior from Oak Hill, Florida. 46 tackles on the season, 3.5 behind the line of scrimmage, and he's been very active today. A couple more brings him to 5.5 on the year.
Second down and 10. Wolverines opening drive of the second half at the Wisconsin 40. Peters out of the pocket, turns a corner, and just runs out of bounds at about the 39. Connolly chasing him out of bounds, brings up third down.
And a big third down here. On the plus side of the 50, this is one of those third downs that if you get, you've got a great chance to get into the end zone because of the momentum, the amount of time that you can keep Wisconsin's defense on the field. Michigan 4 of 9 so far on third down, and they've looked towards their tight ends. Sean McCune lined up top of your screen as a tight end.
3rd and 8 at the 38. Peters out of the shotgun. Peters in trouble and sack, and there's a flag on the play. TJ Edwards. He has been having a great game today with the sack for Wisconsin.
They're going to get a chop block here in the backfield. Karan Higdon, the running back, went low on a defensive lineman. This is huge. It's going to be 15 yards.
Personal foul, chop block. Offense, numbers 57 and 22. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Patrick Kugler, the center, 57-22 is Higdon, and you're going to see him come in late. Higdon goes back to his right, and right there. So they're both trying to get the looper. One engaged high, Higdon goes low, and it's a clear penalty and a good call from the officials.
That'll back the Wolverines up. So now Robbins will punt it from the 37. Nick Nelson, who returned 150 yards for a touchdown. High snap handled by Robbins. Good job by him. And Nelson with the fair catch at the 12. 10:56 to go, third quarter. 7-7. Michigan, Wisconsin. Back to Madison after this.
Abilities behind them with Michigan State, Penn State, and Michigan all at 5-2. Ohio State could even lose a game and still get into that championship game. So all sorts of scenarios still in the East.
So on first down, Horny Brooks sacked at the 5. Second sack of the day for the Wolverines. Hurst Gary crashing the party.
Well, just so aggressive up front, and this is one of the reasons why Paul Chryst has been so hesitant to call pass plays. That's only the 9th called pass that they've had so far today, and it's a combination between Hornibrook struggling with interceptions during the course of the season, 12 on the season, 3 last week against Iowa, and the fact that this is the #1 pass defense in America. And that's a combination that is not playing well for the Badgers.
So a loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Wolverines coming again. And Hornibrook wisely just got rid of it because there was major pressure by Hudson and Hurst.
Kalik Hudson is coming off that left side of the defense and does a great job first getting into the backfield and this just beelining it to the quarterback. They were trying to set up a screen. That's why he's unblocked. But the aggressiveness of Hudson gets back there and kind of blows up the timing of the play.
So 3rd down and 15 for the Badgers. Michigan defense getting stingier and stingier as this game goes on. Hornibrook, quick toss this time, near side, and out of bounds goes A.J. Taylor. Not enough for the first down, so Wisconsin will punt it again.
And again, a lack of first down success is hurting them. That's going to be the 5th 3-and-out forced by Don Brown's defense over there for Michigan. And they've done a heck of a job of disrupting the timing of the passing game, stopping the inside run, and forcing Wisconsin into obvious passing situations.
Anthony Lottie, about 4 yards deep in his own end zone. Donovan Peoples-Jones at midfield. Peoples-Jones comes up, has it, makes a first man miss, tries to get outside, and finally he will go down at the Wisconsin 41. 9:37 to go. TJ Edwards with the tackle on special teams for the Wolverines with great field position inside Wisconsin territory. Unlimited, Verizon Unlimited. 7-7. Michigan and Wisconsin tied. Don't forget to check out Breaking the Huddle with Joel Klatt, my partner, on Facebook Live Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern. Sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
And all sorts of stuff to get into here as we get late into the seasons. Love it. Playoff time. It's getting down to it, isn't it?
Yes, it is. 1st and 10 at the 41 of Wisconsin for the Wolverines.
Mistake there. That right side looked like Wheatley got started a little early. The backup tight end, Tyrone Wheatley.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the first penalty of the day for Michigan.
This is a call it on Bushel Beatty in there, the tackle, but he and Wheatley were both moving on that right side, and that's not what you want against this defense. You've got to stay on schedule. So at this point, at 1st and 15, as a play caller and as a quarterback, you're thinking about getting half of it back. You want this to be a 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 after this snap.
From the 46, play fake. Peters sets up, looks backside, delivers. Incomplete. Intended for Zach Gentry. That ball may have been thrown a little late.
Just a touch late and a touch behind the tight end. And again, that's the most difficult thing for young quarterbacks. Remember, the last significant time that these guys had on the field in real game action was in high school. And you can sit and wait and see the throw and then throw it at the previous levels. But at this level against this defense, Harbaugh knows that he's got to get the ball out of his hands. He needs his quarterback to get up to the line of scrimmage quickly here.
2nd and 15. Empty backfield for Brandon Peters. Peters under pressure, reverses, looks, nobody open, and he tucks it and gets out of bounds at the 40-yard line. TJ Edwards chasing him. But one thing about this kid, he is showing an ability to make good decisions with the football.
Yeah, there was nobody open down the field, and he really felt the pressure extremely well. Joe Ferguson, the safety, number 8, was unblocked coming from his left, and he just kind of spun out of it, then didn't force the ball down the field. They've got good field position here. There's no reason to put the ball in harm's way with how well that they've been playing in the 2nd quarter and then here early in the 3rd.
3rd down and 11. At the 42, Michigan needs to go to the 31 of Wisconsin for first down. Peters all by himself back there. Short drop underneath, incomplete. Ball thrown high, intended for Grant Perry, and Michigan will punt it away.
Creative rush here. What you're going to get is the tackle up the field, and then you're going to get a looping outside linebacker. That's Garrett Dooley. And it was right in the lap of Peters, and that's why he couldn't really follow through. Anytime you see that lack of follow through, the ball's going to be a touch high. It wasn't on the frame of the wide receiver, and it's an incompletion.
Nick Nelson back for the Badgers at the 11. Robbins will punt it away from the 44. And takes a bounce. Goes out of bounds inside the 10. 8:40 to play, 3rd quarter. 7-7.
There's Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Devil box.
As the Badgers defeated the Spartans of Michigan State.
Shoot, all year that year. Russell was fantastic. Here's the last 5 drives for Wisconsin, all punts.
Hornibrook to throw it on first down over the middle. And intercepted That's why they weren't letting him throw it. Devin Bush with the pick. And Michigan has the football deep in Wisconsin territory.
Devin Bush does a great job of just reading the eyes. Here he is right here. He's just going to float back into the middle of the field and read the eyes of Alex Hornibrook. He doesn't have any responsibility as far as a player in his zone, so he gets depth, and he's right there to fall under the route, gets his hands on the ball, and then catches the deflection. That's just an excellent job from your middle linebacker spot. A guy has made 82 tackles on the year coming into this game, a semifinalist for the Buckus Award, did a great job.
And Hornibrook has now thrown an interception in every Big Ten game this year. First down for Michigan. At the 29-yard line. Kareem Walker in at running back, out of the offset eye. And here's the reverse. Peoples-Jones with a lane. Peoples-Jones with the first down. As Dakota Dixon forces him out of bounds.
Cesar Ruiz and Mason Cole, 51 and 52, were out in front. Did a great job kind of pulling out from the right guard spot and left tackle spot in front of Peoples-Jones. Got a few blocks. They moved the chains. This is a big series. You got to capitalize on mistakes in big games. 7-7, third quarter, get the interception. We'll see if the Wolverines can punch it in.
12-yard gain. First down. Walker. And Walker taken down by Ryan Connolly.
Well, here comes Conley again. These linebackers have just been unblocked all day long. This is the tight end's responsibility. That tight end has got to get up to the second level, block the linebacker. Gentry doesn't get it done, and Conley's in the backfield making another tackle.
3-yard loss. Second and 13 at the 20. Peters. Patient. Delivers. Corner. Incomplete. Eddie McDoom, the intended receiver, but Nelson was there. And that brings up 3rd and 13.
It's just a great job by Nick Nelson. Watch, they're going to try to pump fake and get him on a double move route. McDoom's going to stop. They pump right here, and he just stays back. He stays deep. He falls back into the route and then defends it at the catch point. It's a great job. Probably frustrated he didn't pick that ball off. It certainly was in harm's way. He had an opportunity.
3rd down and 13 at the Wisconsin 20. Trips at the top of your screen. And they'll hand it off to Evans, and Evans goes nowhere. He's tackled for a loss. So here's an interesting storyline now for Michigan. In the last 4 games, Quinn Nordine, who once hosted Coach Harbaugh for a sleepover at his house during a recruiting trip, has missed all 3 field goals and 2 extra points. Against Maryland last week, he got into an argument with his coach. Harbaugh telling him, if you don't make the next one, I'm taking you out. He said he'll make the next one. This is the next one. From 39 yards away for Wild Thing is what they call it. And it's good. And Michigan takes a 10-7 lead.
He also told him he got to put on the iron jock and kick it through the uprights, and that's exactly what he did. The turnover turns into points for the Wolverines, and they take a 3-point lead in Madison.
It's a 10-7 lead.
Well, confidence is a big thing for a kicker. You can just tell the weight of the world is off his shoulders. I mean, look at how excited Quinn Nordine is on the sideline. His coach wanted him to make a kick, and he certainly went out there and did it.
Tindall back deep. He'll start from his own 5. Tindall. Oh, and he is wrapped up immediately. Good tackle by Jamarick Woods. Time now for an AT&T game break. Let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles.
All right, Gus, number 3, Miami was down 14-0 early to Virginia. Came back to tie, but the Cavaliers not going away. Kurt Benkert hooks up with Daniel Ham, 26-yard score. Benkert, how about this? 18-19, 288 yards and 4 touchdowns. Virginia leads 28-27, third quarter. Guys, back to you.
give shiny new toys to young kids, I guess. My goodness, I mean, a little success, and Miami's having trouble.
And Taylor having trouble right now with this Michigan front seven. I mean, these guys right now are balling out. Gary, Mike McCray, Winovich, playing a physical brand of football.
I can tell you right now what it feels like to be Alex Hornibrook, and it feels like the field is tilted in your direction. You're playing uphill at this point, and it feels like there's 13 guys on the other side of the football. It's a helpless feeling when you cannot run the ball and the pass protection is not where it needs to be.
Loss of 4 in the last play. Shaw in the game. Hornibrook to throw it. Delivers incomplete. And a flag. Good call.
That Tyreek Kennel certainly reached out. He got caught flat-footed, and he reached out, made contact.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
There's 23 in the corner of your screen. Watch him how he's just flat-footed, and he kind of reaches out, pushes him, and then grabs him on that left wrist as well. With that ball right there, certainly the contact created. I don't know if it would have been caught either way, but it certainly was in the catchable radius, and that contact drawing a flag. That was an excellent call by the official.
5:50 to go, third quarter, 10-7. Wisconsin, the 5th-ranked team in the nation. Down at home, first down. Hornibrook rolls out of the pocket. The lefty looking to throw it. Stops, delivers, and throws it out of play. Danny Davis, closest man to the football.
Well, trying to capitalize on this penalty. They got some decent field position now up there near the 35-yard line. And again, though, not having first down success is really hindering them on these drives, because Paul Chryst knows that if he's in 3rd and long, there's a good chance that they're going to have to punt the football. So this is a huge play here. You got to get 5 yards if you're Wisconsin and create a 3rd and 5 or a 3rd and 4.
Hornibrook 5 of 11, 44 yards and an interception. 2nd and 10. They throw it, screen, nowhere. That's a 3.5, 4-yard loss. Jonathan Taylor covered up by Rashawn Gary.
And check out the linebackers, too. They're so good in recognition. I want you to check out right there Mike McCray, the senior. He doesn't go anywhere. He's not faked out by the motion. He doesn't fall off in coverage. He's just reading Taylor. He's right there. The defensive linemen are right there. These Michigan players very good with recognition of what's going on and what the offense is trying to accomplish. And the senior there, Mike McCray, only returning starter for this defense from a year ago, playing very well today.
3rd down and 13 at the 31. Empty backfield for Alex Hornibrook.
And Paul Chryst wants a timeout.
Charge timeout, Wisconsin.
4:59 to go. Badgers trying to figure it out on O.
Hey, Larry. What's up? How about a game of two-hand
In the Huddle is brought to you by SoFi, the preferred financial partner of the Big Ten Conference.
And in this huddle right now, they're trying to find a way where they can get Troy Fumagalli open or in a one-on-one situation. He's really been the only successful offensive option, in particular in the last 4 or 5 series. He only has 3 catches, but they're for 38 yards, over 12 a pop. If I'm Alex Hornibrook, I'm looking for my tight end, number 81, Troy Fumagalli.
3rd down and 13 at the 31. Hornibrook to the side. Caught! Sideline! Taylor out of bounds inside the Michigan 20. And Alex Hornibrook put that one on the money. 49 yards.
That was a great throw. You're exactly right, and it was a terrific route. I mean, just speed from A.J. Taylor, sophomore. He's 200 pounds, but he's only 5'11". This guy ran right by the defender. That's Jalen Kelly Powell, a true freshman from Detroit. Powell didn't get his hands on him on the line of scrimmage, and he was open down the field. Hornibrook with a great throw.
So 1st down and 10 for Wisconsin at the Michigan 18. Taylor, the deep man in the backfield. They pitch it to him. Tries to get to the edge, but will not. The speed of that Michigan defense. Mike McCray cut off his lane, and Chase Winovich cleaned it up.
And McCray is just so fast. First of all, he's going to come under the lineman. The lineman's going to come up and McCray's actually going to run under him and then start out to the sidelines. What a great job by McCray, understanding lanes, understanding leverage, and he gets to the point that he needs to in order to force that ball down to the ground. Excellent job by the senior.
That's a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 at the 19. Hornibrook goes up top and incomplete. Intended for Danny Davis.
Good coverage there on Davis. Hornibrook did not have much time there, was on his back after that play finished. But now on 3rd and 11, when the ball's inside the red zone, Paul Chryst will tell you, in a 3-point game, you cannot put this ball in harm's way. He has got to be sure of his throw if he's going to try to throw this ball over the middle. Cannot turn it over. You've got potentially 3 points in your back pocket.
3rd and 11 at the 19. Michigan showing blitz. Here they come. Hornibrook. And a flag. Looks like it may be offside against the Wolverines.
Looks like they're going to call a false start. Wow. Remember, you can go into the neutral zone as long as you get back onside.
False start. Offense number 81. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Fumagalli.
Fumagalli was on the outside. He was actually flexed out and gave a little bit of a flinch. There's Fumagalli right here. You're going to see McCray jumps in to the line and see that flinch right there. So McCray can go into the line of scrimmage area as long as he gets back. But the flinch from Fumagalli is what drew the flag. And now even more of a precarious situation. I wouldn't be shocked if they actually just handed this football off towards the middle of the field and try to set up their field goal kicker with a better angle.
It's like a wildcat formation. No. Hornibrook is there. 3rd down and 16. Touchdown, Wisconsin. A.J. Taylor. Alex Hornibrook with a great throw. A 24-yard strike.
Well, you're going to see the safety, and what's going to happen here is that the safety gets sucked over, and what happens is that as soon as that happens, Hornibrook does a great job of reading that and then throwing on his back shoulder. At this point right there, Hornibrook's got it. The safety goes to the middle. It's totally clear lane behind him, and he throws a great ball to Taylor for the touchdown. What a series from Hornibrook when they needed it the most.
And Wisconsin, with 3:31 remaining in the 3rd, reclaims the lead. Gaglianone in for the extra point, and it's good. 14-10. 3rd quarter action. Wisconsin responding. Badgers go up again.
Remember that accident I got in with the pole and I had to make a claim and all that? Is that whole thing still dragging on? No, I took some pics with the app and filed a claim. But you know how they send you money to cover repairs and...
It took forever to pay you, right?
No, I got paid right away. But at the very end of it all, my agent wouldn't even call you back, right? No, she called to see if I was happy. But if I wasn't happy with my claim experience, for any reason, they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. Can you believe that? No.
The claim satisfaction guarantee, only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
We told you at the top of our broadcast that before this game ended, the 2 quarterbacks, in order to win, would have to step up and make plays. And right there, Alex Hornibrook made a great
series after he threw that interception over the middle. He comes up big. I mean, a great series for Hornibrook. A couple of huge completions, none bigger than that touchdown pass on 3rd down.
This one kicked out of the end zone. Tomorrow, it's a great slate of games on Fox as the Redskins take on the Saints, or you'll see 2 of the NFL surprise teams collide when the Rams battle the Vikings or other regional action. It all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Tell you what, I was watching the Rams the other day. They look great.
Yeah, they sure do. I'll tell you what, Jared Goff has done a great job there as a young quarterback. And Hornibrook, well, you talk about answering the bell when you needed the most. Undefeated season on the line, playoff berth on the line. Hadn't had much success at all, and now it's Brandon Peters, the young quarterback from Michigan, trying to answer.
And he do it for the Wolverines. 1st down at the 25. Rolls out of the pocket, throws, caught. Peoples Jones with pick up a couple as he gets out of bounds. Nick Nelson there to usher him out of play.
I tell you, it's so interesting that both of these game plans offensively, both for Wisconsin and Michigan, have fallen on the shoulders of their quarterback. It's very clear that they're just not going to be able to run the ball. That's what they want to do. That's their identity, both offenses. But these quarterbacks are going to be the ones that have to get them down the field. Peters 9 of 17 for 157 on the day.
Harbaugh compared Peters, who just turned 20 last month, to Andrew Luck. He said he's a natural, and they're running straight ahead with Higdon.
There's just nothing there, either team in the middle of these defenses. They're just too good. And so now it's Jim Harbaugh's turn to try to dial something up and create some lanes in the back end as this crowd comes alive.
After the 3-yard gain, brings up 3rd and 5 at the 30 for the Wolverines. Their 4th 12 on 3rd down conversion. This crowd starting to really jump around. Empty backfield for Peters. Peters delivers down the field and incomplete. Eddie McDoom will make that Evans the intended receiver. And the Wolverines will punt it away, and Peters is down.
Peters took a big hit in the backfield as he was trying to get this ball down the sideline, and it was number 17,
Van Ginkel.
Andrew Van Ginkel, who came around, looped around, and kind of drove him down into the ground, into that turf on his left shoulder. You just hate to see that. Just hate to see that, in particular when the head contact goes right down into the ground.
Jim Harbaugh out on the field, paying special attention to his young quarterback.
Just can't stand it. It's one thing when you've got the ball in your hands and they're trying to get you down to the ground, but to drive a quarterback into the ground who is clearly in a defenseless position, I always just thought there's just no need for that. Once they let go of the ball, it might be close enough to hit them, but picking them up off their feet and driving them head first into the ground, it's just I feel like we got to do something about that. This kid has played so well for Michigan since entering the lineup midway through the game against Rutgers.
Well, Michigan was coming off that 42-13 loss to Penn State. And Coach Harbaugh just felt it was time, so he told Peters to get ready and pulled O'Korn, who had started his 4th game in place of Wilton Spate, the injured quarterback who cracked some vertebrae. Now O'Korn will get ready to go. As Peters remains on the field with 2:13 to go in the 3rd quarter. Brandon Peters, in high school, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Indiana, with 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions at Avon High School.
After that first quarter, he sure had a better rhythm and was playing some of the best football he has all year long. In his last 3 ball games, Harbaugh is down trying to chat with him. And
career high 157 yards passing. Peters, they're still paying attention to him. We'll step away momentarily. 14-10 Wisconsin.
The amazing new iPhone 8 is at AT&T, and we know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
more great camera features, and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment and more spokespeople.
Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T Unlimited plans, get HBO for life, only from AT&T.
We help mutants in danger. You're with us now.
If you missed an episode of The Gifted, watch anytime. It's the show critics are calling chills-inducing. The Gifted takes X-Men to a smart new universe.
These people need help.
The Gifted is all new Monday on Fox, or watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Brandon Peters sits down on the card. His teammates huddle around him as the Wolverines lose another quarterback.
Well, now it's going to be John O'Korn's game as Peters gives some fives to his teammates. And he'll head off the field. It's a big loss. O'Korn now comes in, the senior from Pennsylvania. Originally started at the University of Houston, 16 starts there.
It's fourth down, so O'Korn will have to wait until the next series for Michigan as the Wolverines prepare to punt it away. Robbins will punt from the 15. Nick Nelson, the deep man for the Badgers at the 35.
The last couple of snaps have been high in this punt team.
Good snap this time. Nelson over to the sideline. And it goes out of bounds. 2:06 to go. Hornibrook back on the field after throwing the touchdown the last time he touched it. Let's recap it for you.
Well, it was just a great punt return from Nelson that got them in the end zone. Then Peters got going with a terrific series. He was 3 for 3 on the series before the freshman Mason found the end zone. The interception from Hornibrook turned into a field goal, 10-7 lead for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, and then it was Hornibrook all the way down the field, making big throw after big throw. None bigger than that one to A.J. Taylor. Paul Chris loves it as the Wisconsin Badgers went up 14-10 as their undefeated season is on the line here against Michigan.
Up by 4, first down at the 39. Taylor breaks free, and Taylor finally goes out of play. At the 46-yard line, Kinnell knocks him out of bounds, but it's a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, and finally a crack in that defense, and what they did is that they ran all the way off to the tight end, not in between the tackles, but more on an outside track against that defense, and that allowed the tight end to go up, block a linebacker, and get a crease against these Wolverines that have been so stingy here in the second half.
Second down to 3 at the 46. Taylor again runs right this time. Watch out. Taylor still on the move. Flag on the play, but Taylor knocked down at the Michigan 25. David Long with the tackle, but a flag all the way back at the 47.
Holding, offense number 61. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
Well, they're going to get the center, Biadish, and Biadish is the one. He's going to actually pull around, and he's going to be blocking up on the linebacker, Devin Bush, number 10. So he's going to pull around. Here he gets going, and then as he spins to the ground, he reaches out, grabs with the left hand, and kind of brings Bush down and around. That's the hold that they call, and it was a block that sprung Taylor for a lot of extra yards there as he broke a tackle of Josh Metellus, the safety.
So that'll make it second down and 8 yards to go after the holding penalty from the 41. Hornibrook, sideline, incomplete. Intended for Danny Davis. Fans wanted a flag, but they won't get it. Good coverage by Brandon Watson.
Boy, he was all over him, Watson. He had his hands on him. He had that left hand on him, and Danny Davis was just not able to go up and get that ball. And the senior Watson, who is a backup corner, has been forced into action as Lavert Hill has been banged up. Goes up and defends that one perfectly. Getting his right hand on that football before Davis can go get it.
3rd down and 8 at the 41. Garrett Groschek in the game. Here's Hornibrook. And caught! Davis on the other side. What a throw by Alex Hornibrook. He is dropping it in there. A gain of 22.
It's an excellent throw, and it might be outdone by the catch. Davis goes up one-handed and pins that one against his chest, brings it in. What a huge catch and completion. Wow, Danny Davis, just the true freshman from Springfield, Ohio, displaying some athleticism, and Hornibrook is feeling it now. This is some quality football that he's put together on back-to-back drives. Great rhythm throws, throwing very accurately down the field.
1st down at the 32 of Michigan for Wisconsin. And they run the reverse with Pryor. Pryor with a block. Pryor to the end zone. Pryor, touchdown Badgers.
Well, you're going to get 2 key blocks. First, it's going to be Ramish on the outside, and then you're going to get the pulling lineman all the way up the field who gets the downfield block on the reverse. There's the block from Ramish, and then down the field, right here, there's the key block. You get this guy down to the ground, you got the cut off of it, and it's an easy touchdown for the Badgers.
Extra point up and good. Pryor with an end-around touchdown 2 weeks in a row. So with 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd, Wisconsin takes a 21-10 lead.
Boy, they did such a good job of adjusting there. The interior of the defense was giving them no yardage in the run game, so all the runs were off the tight end or on the end around. They were able to pin the linebackers inside, get the linemen out and pulling in front of them, and for the 2nd straight week, like you said, partner, an end around goes for a touchdown. This has been a second-half team this season, even last week. They were in a kind of a dogfight, 17-14 with Iowa before blowing it open in the latter parts of that game, and they're starting to get a rhythm now.
Owl Korn will come in for Michigan at quarterback.
Deep for Michigan.
Hintz will send it away. Thomas and Hawkins are deep. And this one kicked out of the end zone.
Well, these are some championship answers. When you're undefeated, you're going to be in tight games. You're going to be in tight games late. But what a job by this offense, finding the areas to attack the Michigan defense and then getting a lead for their defense, the #1 total defense in the country, now with an 11-point lead with 24 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. That's an excellent job.
And they're playing toward their strengths, that offensive line. Creating opportunities. 1st down now for Michigan at their own 25. O'Corn. Complete. Peoples-Jones. John O'Corn, senior from Fort Lauderdale. His 2nd season at Michigan after 2 years at Houston. And a redshirt season in between. Played in 8 games for the Wolverines last year. 1 start. Wolverines allowing the clock to run. This may be the end of the quarter, and it is. 21-10. 4th quarter coming up from Madison right after this. Camp Randall Stadium turns into a house of pain as they jump around. All right, Michigan, 1st down and 10 at the 36. O'Korn in at quarterback for Peters. They give it to Evans. Evans with running room, and he dives forward. Gains 9. Natrell Jamerson with the tackle. So tell me about John O'Korn. What does he do well? What does he do poorly?
Well, let's start with why he was benched. It was turnovers. It was 5 interceptions. The fact that he was just 3 of 6 in that game against Rutgers after the loss to Penn State. There were several open receivers against Penn State that he did not find. So Jim Harbaugh made the move. He's a team player, positive guy. He's got a short memory. So this is a guy that'll come in and sling it around the lot.
2nd down and 1. O'Korn to throw. Over the middle, and caught incomplete. Looks like he had his receiver, Zach Gentry, but Gentry drilled by Dakota Dixon.
Boy, he was open for a moment, and Gentry was going across the middle. I don't think that O'Korn saw the safety on the other side. He thinks he's wide open, but Dakota Dixon falls in there and just bang right in the back of number 83, Zach Gentry. Dakota Dixon, this guy has played a lot of football. He's a very good player. Good recognition there, falling back into that route.
3rd down and 1 at the 45. And they'll give it to the 2nd man. Evans, 1st down, Wolverines. But if you're Jim Harbaugh and you're the Michigan offense, there's a confidence that you should have in John O'Korn, knowing that he has experience coming into the game at this time.
Well, the confidence is that you're not going out there with some freshman or a redshirt sophomore that's never seen the field. So you don't have to pare back the playbook. The entire game plan is going to be at the disposal for the play caller, Jim Harbaugh. They're going to be able to shift motion, do all the things that they normally do because O'Korn has been on the field before.
1st down to the 49. O'Korn goes sideline for Peoples-Jones, and he threw that one into double coverage. Derek Tyndall and Natrell Jamerson close to the football for Wisconsin.
You know, it's interesting. They had a couple of nice run plays on this one, the 3rd and 1 for the conversion. 1st down, Evans got loose for a nice 9-yard run. You almost wonder if they're going to come back and try to reestablish the run so that they can help out their quarterback O'Korn. If Leonard's thinking the same thing, you're going to see some safeties near the line of scrimmage and more pressure being put on him by that defensive coordinator.
2nd and 10. O'Korn with time. Underneath, incomplete for Peoples-Jones. Edwards just ripping it out of his hands. And that brings up 3rd down and 10.
That's exactly what they did. They dropped the safety, and then the linebacker, Edwards, he actually replaced the safety back in coverage. This is as diverse and creative a defense as you'll see in college football. More of an NFL style with Leonard's background, playing for the Rex Ryan coaching tree in the NFL for 10 years. You see all sorts of mixes and matches in coverage. I'm sure they'll see another exotic pressure and or coverage right here on 3rd and 10.
The tight ends for Michigan have had success today as O'Korn calls a timeout. First called timeout by the Wolverines in the 2nd half. 21-10. Back after this. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Today's aerial coverage is being brought to you by our neighbors at State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. 21-10. Badgers, 13:34 to go in the 4th quarter. Michigan faced with a 3rd and 10 at the Wisconsin 49. O'Korn in for Brandon Peters. O'Korn in trouble. Gets out of trouble, throws, and incomplete. A lot of pressure on John O'Korn, and Michigan will have to punt it away.
Well, the back Higdon, he was responsible for this backside. He should have just gone right away and abandoned the fake, but he doesn't. He decides to go ahead with the play fake and try to loop all the way back around. He didn't get there. O'Korn was lucky that he didn't get sacked right there. Does a nice job of just getting loose to throw it away.
Robbins will punt it from the 36. 8th punt of the game. Nick Nelson standing at his own 10. And Nelson signals for the fair catch lets it go over his head, and Michigan will down it inside the Badger 5. 13-17 to play, fourth quarter. Wisconsin on offense right after this.
I'm Ryan, and I quit smoking with Shantix. Everything I did circled around.
In Wisconsin yesterday, he led his team to a Division II state championship, rushing for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns against Brookfield. He's been offered a scholarship, from what I understand, to Boston College. Here's number 33, the Heisman Trophy winner, Alan Amici, the only other Heisman Trophy winner of Wisconsin. First down and 10 for the Badgers at the 6. Taylor clobbered on that play by Winovich. As you take a look at the numbers, Jonathan Taylor and Ron Dane chasing Big Ten freshman rushing record. Almost 1,500 yards rushing.
This is some gaudy numbers from both of those guys. My goodness. Taylor has been held in check somewhat today with only 55 yards, but having a tremendous year. Came into this day, and he was within shouting distance, 401 yards away from breaking Adrian Peterson's FBS freshman record, and we'll see if that stands up over the next couple of weeks.
Ibrahim this time running the ball, and Ibrahim gets across the 10 to the 11. Maurice Hurst with the stop. And you just look at this Wolverine squad, Joel, and you say to yourself, if they could get some consistent quarterback play, this would be a heck of a team.
Yeah, you know, and that's been the case during
because
the course
the defense
of this
is
year.
so good.
They really are, and they haven't been great in special teams, but the development of all these young players on defense has been outstanding. Jim Harbaugh has been very happy about that, but this is a big moment right here. It's a third down, and this is an opportunity to create a short field for an offense that's got a backup quarterback in and create some momentum for yourself.
Third down and 4. Hornibrook. Incomplete. And a flag. Metellus will be flagged. And that'll be a first down for Wisconsin.
You know, they're going to chat about this, and that ball was well in front of the tight end Fumagalli. I don't even know if a supersonic dive would have gotten there. It wouldn't shock me if they picked this up. Nope, they're not going to.
Defense, number 14. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Okay, so Fumagalli is going to be working against Metellus, number 14. Not a lot of contact. There's very little contact. Ball's thrown low and away. Don't agree with the call at all. Maybe that hand on the outside, but that ball's past him by the time the left arm comes around. Pretty ticky-tack right there on the third down against Metellus. That's a flag I think should have stayed in the pocket.
First down, Wisconsin. Hornibrook in trouble. And he throws it out of bounds under pressure by Hudson. Hudson plays that Viper position. Last year they had a pretty good Viper playing for Michigan.
Ooh, you ain't lying. Jabril Peppers played that position. It's a position they try to get free in a lot of different ways. Rushing the quarterback, got to be great in coverage as well. It's a hybrid safety position that Don Brown really attacks with, and Hudson has done a great job. In fact, earlier this year, he had 15 tackles against Minnesota and 8 tackles for loss, just to show you the type of playmaker number 7 is.
Second and 10 at the 14. Michigan showing blitz. Taylor, first down. Taylor, look at the speed. Taylor down the sideline, out of bounds in Michigan territory. Jonathan Taylor pushed out by Metellus, but he picked up 51 yards.
What you're going to get is a block back. At that point, Hudson actually clears out. When he clears out, the cutback lane is wide open for Taylor, and right there's nobody left. Taylor finds it, cuts it back to the right, and he's off to the races. Excellent job by Taylor finding the free area and replacing a linebacker that leaves a gap.
And Wisconsin's running game is like a Joe Frazier style of fighting. The body blows don't look like they are effective early, but late in the game, they pay major dividends. Hornibrook rolling out, and he's sacked by Hudson. All the way back at midfield, third sack of the game for Michigan.
Well, Hudson goes unblocked here. He's going to come off the edge, and he's just going to come right on that right side. They're trying to get a play-action fake, and no one accounts for him. You've got to account for Hudson. He plays in the backfield constantly. In a play after removing himself from that gap that Taylor exposed, he gets into the backfield and gets a sack, and that's a huge sack. It took him well out of field goal range by the time he was back there, and they're going to spot the ball at about the 46-yard line.
Loss of 12 on the play. 2nd and 22 at the 46. Hornibrook has made some timely plays in this second half, and he gets rid of this one quickly. Hudson again in his face.
Well, Hudson is just a free rusher again. They've got to start accounting for Khaleke Hudson. Again, he's the attacker for this Michigan defense, and they all series long now have not accounted for him in the passing game. You've got to have a tight end, a running back, somebody there to account for number 7, who is causing havoc right now with that Badger passing game.
Khaleke Hudson, sophomore from McKeesport, Pennsylvania. 3rd and 22 at the 46. Hornibrook steps up in the pocket, wants to run it, and it'll slide down at the
40. Well, they dropped everybody in coverage. Really the first time all day I've seen a soft zone from Michigan. It's 3rd and forever. Don Brown dials up a big soft zone. It looks like he can run for a little bit of yardage, but the linebackers were right there.
So Lottie will punt from his own 46. His 8th punt of the game. Peoples-Jones stands at the 10. End over end kick. And fair caught at the 13, but a flag on the play at the 48-yard line. Excuse me, at the 43-yard line.
It looked to me like there was a hold on the interior of that line. Michigan was coming after that punt, and a couple of the Wisconsin players up front kind of just threw their guy to the ground, kind of took him and grabbed him and threw him to the ground.
Holding, kicking team number 51. At 10 yards will be tacked on to the end of the kick. First down, Michigan. Time.
9:25 to play in the 4th. The Wisconsin defense has been standing tall in the second half. We'll see if they can continue right after this.
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people...
21-10, Wisconsin on top of the Wolverines. 9:25 to play in the 4th. John O'Korn in for Brandon Peters, 1 of 5 to start. O'Korn delivers a nice ball, but unfortunately for McCune, he just couldn't hold on. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, guys, just a quick update on Brandon Peters. I just watched him walk into an ambulance in his own power. He was walking on his own. I've been told that an ambulance would take him to the UW hospital, and my guess, if it is a head injury they're worried about, just for some further evaluation, guys, that he would be looked at. But good sign that he was walking on his own.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. 2nd down and 10. Evans. And Evans stuffed. T.J. Edwards, Ryan Connolly, those linebackers, we've been calling their names all day.
And they have been unblocked all day. Look at Connolly. He's just going to come around and he's going to be unblocked and into the backfield. Michigan's trying to pull these linemen and fullbacks, and they just can't get any separation. They can't get any movement. Those linebackers are too quick getting into the backfield.
2-yard loss. 3rd down and 12 to the 22. O'Korn dances out of the pocket and tucks it and goes down to the line of scrimmage by Ryan Connolly. Wolverines now starting to stall offensively. This Wisconsin defense, Joel, they're pinning their ears back now.
They are, and that aggressive front 7, they're doing a nice job disrupting the timing of the passing game. And then when you're not able to block the linebackers and you're trying to pull guards and pull tackles and tight ends, They're just making it very difficult to do anything offensively for Michigan.
Ninth punt of the game for Brad Robbins. At the 9-yard line, Nick Nelson back at his own 39. Nelson has to back up. Picks it up at the muffed it, picked it up at the 30. Nelson gets around the corner. And Nelson taken down at midfield. A 47-yard punt and a 19-yard return. Glasgow with the tackle on special teams. But Wisconsin with great field position.
Isn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he played here. He loves it here. He's from here. He's got a staff of a lot of different Wisconsin guys. Both coordinators played here at Wisconsin. They've got something good going here.
First down to the 48-yard line. Taylor over 100 yards rushing for this talented freshman as Hudson makes the tackle. Taylor now with 8 100-yard games this year. And 3 of those are 200-yard games, including a career-best 249 and 2 touchdowns against Nebraska.
Really smart kid. He told us he wants, well, he really came here because it was a great research school in the sciences. And he has researched this offense, and he's found a way to be a great counter gap scheme runner with patience. Done a great job.
He's upset because he couldn't take an astronomy class this semester, and a flag on the play. If it stands, though, a first down.
Yeah, I think it will. I thought Kalik Hudson, who was on a pressure from the defensive right side, was actually offside there.
Offside. Defense number 7. Penalties declined. Result of the play. First down.
Well, here's Hudson, number 7. He's going to be taking off, trying to get a little bit of pressure, and he's just a little bit too early. I'll tell you, this is where the offensive line earns their keep. These are the championship moments, because in a 2-possession game, Michigan really needs the ball back with about 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes to go to have any realistic chance. If the offensive line can eat up the clock and some more first downs, they can put this game away themselves.
Timeout.
As Devin Bush went down late.
While we're waiting, let's take a look at what is in store for next week. We bring to you one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. 120 years of memorable moments and bad blood. This year the Buckeyes head to Ann Arbor, eyeing another Big Ten title, while the Wolverines hope to end a 5-game losing streak to their neighbors to the south. Coverage begins at 10:30 Eastern on Fox. And it's series between these two teams. We went into Urban Meyer's office a few weeks back to meet with him, and as we were walking in his office, our director, Rich Dewey, who's from Seattle, big Seattle Seahawks fan, had on a blue jacket. He was walking into the office, and Urban Meyer said to him, "You got on a blue jacket in my office?"
I just want to, they weren't playing Penn State that week. They were playing Maryland.
Exactly.
So it's not like don't wear the opposing team's colors. No. It's don't wear the team up north's colors around here. And yeah, it's certainly, you know, both buildings, whether you're in Schembechler Hall or Woody Hayes Athletic Center, it is 24/7, 365, thinking about the boys either to the north or to the south. And can't wait to be part of that broadcast next week, partner, as we head home.
And for Jim Harbaugh, he's done such a good job, but now there are rumblings that he hasn't beat a rival.
Yep.
Well, he's beaten Michigan State. Who does that leave?
Only one.
First and 10 at the 41. Taylor. And Taylor with more running room. Goes down at the 28. Kittle with the tackle. Let's check in with Greg Wolf.
All right, guys, number 3, Miami took their first lead against Virginia late third quarter. They finally now have a little breathing room. Malik Rozier, 8-yard touchdown. They missed the PAT. They lead 37-28, fourth quarter. Back to you guys.
Well, it's a nice comeback there from the Hurricanes, keeping their playoff hopes alive. They've already qualified for that ACC championship game, just like Wisconsin has already qualified themselves for the Big Ten championship game.
First and 10. And this time it's Bradrick Shaw, and he'll hop forward. Gain a yard or two. Robleski, number 46, with the tackle.
Well, this is really it for Michigan. This series of downs. It's 2nd and 8. They've got to force a kick. Got to get themselves off the field. They're coming up on 5 minutes and 10 seconds, 5 minutes and 9 seconds now in this ball game. The offense has to have the ball back with about 4.5. And Wisconsin doing a great job right now of being methodical in the huddle. This is where it pays off to have an experienced quarterback like Hornibrook, who doesn't even break the huddle until 10 seconds left on the play call.
2nd down and 8 yards to go at the 26. Shaw running right, and he'll slide through the hole and get to the 20, maybe the 19. Gary with the tackle. Wisconsin has won 3 straight home games versus Michigan after just winning 3 of the previous 25 in Madison. This team has won 11 straight games dating back to the 2017 Cotton Bowl. The school record is 14.
Michigan's got to sell out on this play. 3rd and 2. For my money, this is it. Don Brown has got to get a stop with his defense.
At the 20. And they'll give it to Groszek. 1st down, Badgers.
Well, how about Groszek? 216 pounds from Amherst Junction, Wisconsin. Home to about 350, give or take, people. Finds his way to Wisconsin, redshirt freshman, state's top QB, an offensive player of the year as a senior, and gets a huge 1st down there. That really kind of seals this one up in a 2-possession game. With the methodical nature of this offense and their ability to run the football, that's a huge 1st down.
This drive started with 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining on the clock. 1st down. Groszek. And he'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage this time. And Michigan
charge timeout.
Calls their 2nd timeout.
Their 2nd.
We'll stay right here. Today's Ford unstoppable player is...
Well, it started out not so hot for Alex Hornibrook, and this interception, you got to think to yourself, boy, does he have what it takes to play big in a big game? And the answer was yes. He came right back, finds A.J. Taylor down the field with a beautiful throw, goes back to Taylor for the touchdown. He's really been sensational ever since that interception. That was a beautiful ball to Danny Davis. And Hornibrook, they've asked him around here, this fan base said, we need you to play better. And guess what he did today? In particular, in the crunch time moments, he played great.
Made some big plays. But when it's all said and done offensively for Wisconsin, the key to this team, those big dudes up front, 63, 67, 61, 66, and 79.
That's true, but
that sounds like a lotto number. Might have to play that one.
You're going to have to play that one. They weren't running the ball very well for a large section of this game, and it wasn't until Hornibrook loosened up the defense with some of those passing concepts down the field that they started getting loose in the run game as well.
This O-line rock stars in Madison. Groszek. And again, he gets to the 10 as they open holes for him, a 7-yard gain.
They're just so technically sound. They're so physical, and you called them body blows earlier today. That's exactly what they were. And now at the end, in the later rounds of a championship fight, after all those body blows, Michigan just doesn't have the chin to stand up defensively to what Wisconsin has done on this last series. And this has been just big boy football here to close it out, hasn't it?
Yep. As they say in boxing, assault the body and the head will fall, and that's what's happened in the second half, and that's what's been happening in the second half of many of the games for Wisconsin this year. The accumulation of the physical nature of this Paul Chryst coach team. Wisconsin has not trailed in the 4th quarter this year.
They have outscored their opponents 195-55 in the second half, and that continued today. It was a great display of execution, power, effort, and this Michigan team will have to bounce back and regroup as they face Ohio State next week.
Central Florida is the only other FBS team that has not trailed in the fourth quarter this season. 3rd down and 3 at the 10-yard line. Wildcat formation. Rochelle. And Mike McCray with the tackle with 3:05 to go. Wolverines out of timeouts. Brings up 4th down and 5.
I think Paul Chryst is going to let this clock bleed all the way down, and then he's going to take a timeout.
Paul Chryst, Jim Harbaugh, friends, colleagues, and Chris coached him at San Diego when Jimmy was a player. Family's very close.
Their dads ran into each other countless times, both football through and through, their families, everything. And Jeep Chryst, Paul's brother, was the coordinator at San Diego, and Jim was the quarterback for the Chargers. A lot of respect between these two men.
Talk about how good these coaches are as you take a look at their records by seasons.
I'll tell you what, man, doesn't it just go totally under the radar nationally what Paul Chryst has done?
Yes,
in his 3 seasons. About to move potentially to 32-6. Back to the Big Ten championship game, and he has built something special up here. There's no doubt. And I really shouldn't say built. I should say he has continued something special, because this was built by Barry Alvarez. Really, the seminal moment was that Rose Bowl in '94, and they've kept this sense ever since.
Gaglianone in to attempt a 30-yard field goal. He's made a field goal in every game this season and in 15 games overall. And it's good for the Brazilian. 24-10. Wisconsin with 2:25 to go. Michigan trailing out of timeouts. And we've got more college football coming your way on Fox. Up next, Maryland takes on number 17 Michigan State. Then at 8 Eastern, it's one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football as Cal battles number 22 Stanford in the big game. It's all on Fox, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go.
Michigan State's going to have to bounce back. They got hammered last week, and of course, very excited to see Bryce Love tonight. Stanford as they take on Cal. Impressive performance today from Wisconsin. 24-10, 2:25 left. So it's desperation time for the Wolverines if they want to even a sniff at this ball game.
Second to kick off for the Badgers. Thomas, deep for Michigan.
Hintz will kick it off. Thomas and Hawkins are deep. And ball picked up at the 1-yard line by Thomas. And Thomas with some blocks. Gets to the sideline, flag on the play as he goes out of bounds as he crosses the 40.
On the return, holding, receiving team number 20. Half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down, Michigan.
And here's what's going on, partner, in the top 10 in college football.
Alabama and Clemson had no eyes. Miami leading now 44-28. And that one has just gone final. So Miami stays undefeated. Oklahoma should be able to take care of business against Kansas. This one was the ranked matchup. Louisiana Monroe. I mean, we got to get these. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Mercer, Citadel, Louisiana Monroe. Come on.
There you go, jumping on the SEC again.
And the ACC. Don't leave them out. They're 8 conference games, playing FCS opponents in November. It's just easier to have more quality record when you space out your tough games. When you're facing a Big Ten schedule or a Big 12 schedule and you play all your games not consecutively, but all in the confined portion of the conference season. You don't get Mercer in November. Well, guess what happens? You lose a player, the next week someone can beat you. It's just way easier to overcome injuries and all sorts of different things that happen during the year, and it's one of the things that, well, can you tell it drives me nuts?
I can tell that it irritates you a little bit. First down for the Wolverines. Corn in for Peters. Throws that one underneath, and it's caught by Grant Perry. By the way, we'd like to wish Coach Paul Christ a happy birthday. Coach turned 52 years young yesterday.
They had a cake for him in the coach's office, and he just scraped off the words "Happy Birthday, Paul."
O'Corn over the middle and incomplete. Conley there. I tell you, these linebackers for Wisconsin have played so well. Ryan Conley, T.J. Edwards, Garrett Dooley, Leon Jacobs.
And remember, their best one was injured in fall camp, and they're still this good. You know, outside linebackers, and even their coordinator, Jim Leonard. There's Jack Sitchie with the beard and the headset on. He's kind of been a pseudo player coach during the course of the year, but they could have even been stronger. I mean, Sitchie is a heck of a player, and we'll see what he decides to do next year after the Big Ten championship game.
Third down and 2. O'Corn dancing out of the pocket. And O'Corn is just leveled by Ryan Connolly. Listen to this coming at you, folks.
Whew. I'll tell you what. You're a quarterback and you want to go ahead and lower that shoulder, you better be ready. Ryan Conley, one of those famed former walk-ons here for Wisconsin. He's played a heck of a game today. And this defense is hearing the appreciation from this fan base.
Michigan going for it on 4th down and 2. 1 minute and 46 to go. O'Corn in the shotgun. O'Corn steps up in the pocket and will not get it. Conley again on the play. Johnny on the spot, and the Wolverines turn it over on downs. The streak is alive in Madison. 11-0 for the Badgers, with the big game next week against Minnesota.
For Paul Bunyan's axe, and everyone was waiting nationally to see what this team was going to do against ranked opponents. Well, they've seen 2 of them back-to-back, Iowa and now Michigan, and they have taken care of business. Unbelievable defensive performances. Their quarterback stepped up. I hope the committee was watching today. I hope that they take notice for this team, because this is not a soft Wisconsin undefeated team. This team can play with anybody in the country, and they've proven that today.
Now remember, prior to the win over Iowa, committee chair Kirby Hocutt said Wisconsin's schedule was the worst of any of their top 25 teams.
That's weird. Are they playing Mercer today? Wow. Or the Citadel? Come on, committee. Be better than that.
Kirby saying we look at a number of strength of schedule metrics, but consistently over the course of all of those metrics, we looked at Wisconsin, and they had the lowest strength of schedule among the 25 teams we ranked. Now that's prior to the Iowa win.
Well, they've handled business against Iowa and Michigan, and those are 2 quality opponents. Just ask Ohio State.
I was trying to be Eddie Haskell for you to get you going a little bit more.
That's right. You winded me up enough. I feel like I got enough in there. I was going to my own George Frazier there with my own body blows.
But Alex Hornibrook has to be pleased with what he did in the second half. Yes, he did throw 1 interception, but he made some huge plays to A.J. Taylor.
He was the difference in the game.
He was. And that's what we talked about at the top of our broadcast. Which quarterback would step up, make the plays to win it. And today, that quarterback wore red. As Jim Harbaugh crosses the field to shake hands with his friend, Paul Christ. Wisconsin keeps it going. They defeat Michigan 24-10 and improve their record to 11-0 with Minnesota next week in the Twin Cities. And let's go downstairs where Jenny has Coach Christ.
Gus, thanks so much. Well, Coach, the undefeated season continues, and before the game, we talked about wanting a statement performance from this team. What statement did you make?
You know what? We had a game today against a really good football team in Michigan, and our kids fought through it, and proud of the way they played, and we won today. And we should enjoy that tonight. Then we come back and we got another opportunity to finish out the season. That's what it's all about.
Yesterday when we talked to you, you said that your guys are going to make mistakes. And when you talk about your quarterback, Alex, he had an interception there, but then he comes back next 2 possessions. He leads the team down the field for 2 touchdowns. How proud are you in the way he finished this game?
Well, I thought he did a lot of really good things, and he's been strong the whole year, and things are going to happen. It's how you respond to it, and really proud of what he did. It takes everyone. That's what's fun about this team, is we know that we need everyone to win it, and I'm proud of the way they played.
I got to ask you about the defense. They held Michigan to just 10, under 100 yards in the second half. What'd you make?
I thought they played really well, and a lot of guys making plays, and that's how it's been the whole year. And again, the whole team, I'm really proud of what they did today, and they got to enjoy and appreciate all that goes into that. And then tomorrow, get back at it, and let's try to find a way to get a little bit better.
All right, I have to say, enjoy your birthday weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
All right, thank you very much. The final score here at Camp Randall Stadium on Wisconsin, 24-10. The Badgers beat the Wolverines. Coming up after a short break, we'll send you out to Los Angeles for more college football coverage.